Did you get a lot of play in high school though? Because they were like, "Yo, bro, you the dude on TV."
That's so great. No, I didn't. I should have capitalized more on it.
Well, I don't believe that.
What? I'd have a goddamn T-shirt on that says,
I'm available.
I'm on Nickelodeon and I'm free.
Yeah, literally.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're always on. We're always on. You never know what's going to make
We've been on?
We've been on. Since the moment you walked in the room, we start rolling, brother. Yep. TMZ Verified the podcast. I'm Wild.
I'm Steph.
And I'm Devon.
Devon.
You're the first person to get that, dog. We never tell people
And
what,
then, yeah.
and they just look at us
He
like
picked it
they're
up quick.
confused.
I don't know. It seemed like the right time, you know?
Okay.
Seemed like what I was supposed to do.
I think he should introduce himself because he's so good at it.
Need to.
Yeah,
Where'd he go?
go. Where are you from?
I want to see if
You
you've,
want a full
I want to see if
interview?
you've written down proper
I go,
notes.
he
Go
should
ahead.
just do the podcast by himself.
Do the intro, Steph.
Yeah, I want to see what research you've done and what you're going to say.
Podcaster, Ned's Declassified, Nickelodeon star, and friend of the show.
Sure.
Oh, friend of
Sure,
the show.
okay.
Friend of the show.
Okay.
We had one interaction where he canceled on us, and now we go, friend of the show.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's my first time meeting you, friend of the show. I won't know if I'm a friend of the show until after this.
Until
interview.
it's over.
We usually know within approximately 2 seconds.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you know if the vibe's good or not?
Yeah.
Oh,
We
100%.
normally have good vibes, though, because we're like cool. We cool ass people.
Yeah, you guys are chill.
We could talk to literally this piece of paper.
How long have you been at TMZ, both of you? Was it just for the
Oh,
pod,
I
or you were
love
here
it.
No,
before?
we started.
We started the same week.
Like, I was about to say a week after each other.
Yeah.
And that's how you guys became
friends? It was
friends?
the same week.
Yeah, and I'm from Philadelphia. She's from here. I
No
don't know-
shit.
I
Go
don't even
Birds,
know why
man.
we're friends. Oh, yes.
My
Why
dad's
Eagles
from
fly?
Philly. My family's from Philly. Yeah,
Oh,
so
here
I'm
we
not,
go.
but I was
They're
born and
gonna
raised on
bond.
Philly
They're gonna
sports, man.
bond.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. How long have y'all been? So if your family's from the Pennsylvania area, how long
Yes.
have y'all been over? this side?
Well, my immediate family moved to Georgia right before I was born because my dad's job moved there. So I'm from
Gotcha.
Georgia,
Okay,
but
okay.
my family is all Philly and Scranton, man.
Oh, what?
So-
Not Scranton.
Mhm.
That's where the office is.
Is set.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love good Pennsylvania. See, dog, that's what I knew.
I hate when you bond with people about the Midwest thing. I hate it so much.
You get
'cause
jealous?
Yeah, because I've just never.
Where'd you say you were from? I wasn't even
LA.
listening. Okay.
So it's nothing interesting, nothing profound.
I mean, LA is cool. Listen, I love LA. LA is my home.
For
But
sure.
but Philly, what's up,
LA.
dude?
No, literally.
So you guys got here, and then
Like
and
he's
then.
interviewing us.
I love it.
Well, I
we
just want to know
no.
things before we start. Or I mean, I know we started,
We
but I
started.
want to know things for me.
Okay.
All right.
So you worked at TMZ before starting the pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We started. We just worked here for a couple months.
Cool.
And then they go, y'all talk a lot to each other. Do y'all want to just talk?
No,
literally.
yeah,
that's,
literally.
That's how it came to be.
Yeah.
And now we're just here.
That is a prerequisite to become a podcast host. Like,
Just
can
talk
you
a
just
lot.
talk a lot?
Talk a bunch of shit, and that's kind of what we do.
Perfect. Yeah,
Devon.
me too.
Werkheiser,
Hi.
dog, you are like. Let me try not to be like gushing and acting annoying, but bro, you are like the. We had Alexa Nicholas on last season too, so we love having on like people, and we're like, yo, these are the people that to us are like
Our childhood.
our childhood,
Yeah.
the biggest like.
Yeah.
Easily recognizable,
Yeah.
huge part of our lives. Thanks for coming, dog. We
Hey.
appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me. Like, nice to be here. That's the biggest thing that gets said from Neds is you're my childhood.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
dude,
Strange
it's
thing
crazy.
growing up with
Uh-huh.
that.
No. So if you catch us staring at you blankly, it's literally just our brains.
It's
trying
you
to-
having memories.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I always like to start these interviews with, and Wild hates it, when we start off with like the very beginning. But that's where in my brain, I'm like, how do you even get into childhood acting?
Okay, you want to take it all the way back.
All the way back.
So I had parents, and they.
Oh,
they-
he's gonna
No?
be smart.
Okay,
Not the
never
birds
mind.
and the bees.
Okay, never mind. I was born. Yes, I was born in Georgia, as we went over. And I don't know, man. I was just a kid who fucking liked attention.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Okay.
Like, I was a little kid who liked to perform and liked attention and loved movies. So for me, the beginning was Ace Ventura, and it was Austin Powers. Those movies,
Okay.
Jim Carrey, Mike Myers, like me at like 7 years old, just like reciting these lines.
Okay.
And my parents like saw that like I loved these movies and would do impressions, and they're like, you want to do community theater? Like it basically was this really organic process of my parents seeing that I kind of liked this stuff and then would give me opportunities, and then the opportunities would go well, and then it would lead to bigger opportunities. So they put me in community theater in Georgia. I did that for a while. The theater group got me an agent in Georgia, and I started auditioning for things. That kind of went well. The agent in Georgia then got me an agent in Los Angeles to start coming out here. That went well. And like my second pilot season out here, I booked Neds.
So how old were you when you moved to LA?
I was 11 the first time I came out to LA.
Okay.
And I was
That's
12
so
when I
young.
booked Neds.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the show started in 2004.
Yes.
You were only 11. Were you like doing the homeschool thing? Were they still like dragging you to school? Like how was the
Yeah, so
where was the education?
where
question.
was the education happening? So for the first 2 seasons of Neds, so the pilot I booked when I was 12, and that was 2003. 2004, we did the first season, and I filmed in LA for 6 months, and then I went back to Georgia and was in middle school for 6 months. And so for the first 2 seasons of Neds, that's what I did, is I would film for 6 months in LA, and I'd literally be in public middle school for the rest of the year. And then the last season of Neds was just going to be a bigger season, so I didn't go to school, and that was really like when we kind of started spending all of our time out in LA.
Yeah. So the show aired from 2004 to 2007.
Yeah. But was really like, it feels like it was on repeats for like 10 years.
Yeah, I was going to
Like
say, like,
2004.
I feel like the show was on for a really long time.
Yeah, even though we only aired even though it was only new for those 3 years, like it was being rerun for forever.
So one of the questions that I always want to know when you're a child actor, so you were doing the back and forth from California to Georgia. When you go back to school, do people, obviously they are like, oh, you're on a show, like you're so cool.
Yeah, I mean, that would like happen like when I would first be back maybe, but I grew up there, so it was all kids I knew. So like whatever kind of that would create early on, like, oh, that's so cool. Then I was just in school with them, and it kind of just became normal. Do you know what I mean? It's like we all get used to shit. So it's like maybe first couple days, someone who didn't know me is like, oh my God, that kid's on the show. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, that's Devon from my like class.
Interesting.
You know?
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
it wasn't a huge deal. In high school, so that was like middle school too. Like things were kind of chiller in middle school.
Yeah, in middle school you're like catching bugs.
And this is pre-social media.
Catching bugs.
I was catching bugs in middle school.
Yeah. Like, you're like playing outside. Like
Yeah.
things were way chiller. And this was pre-social media. Social media would have changed everything.
Yeah.
In high school, when I would start to go back to Atlanta, things did get a little different. Like high school, people are really maybe a little more aware of their social standing and maybe a little more insecure and also a little crazier and a little clickier. So like it got weird when I would go back in high school and go to these parties with friends who I've known my entire life, but because I've been gone all year and I'm only back for a couple weeks, I'd go to these parties sometimes and it would feel different. I would feel like whatever that is, that like excitement of like, I felt different, even though I'm like, dude, I've known you my entire life. But all of a sudden, I'm the guy on the show, and like maybe there's some like excitement there, and they're taking photos, and like it just felt different, and that was a little isolating, like at that time, and just made me more want to be in LA.
Right.
Yeah.
Because imagine coming home from school and then your classmates like on the TV.
Yeah.
That'd be so
Yeah.
weird.
It's like a strange thing, but also it's normal for me because it's my life, you know?
Right.
Did you get a lot of play in high school though? Because they were like, "Yo, bro, you the dude on TV."
That's so great. That's such a great question. Wow.
Yes.
No. I didn't. I should have capitalized more on it, but no. I was not getting a ton of play in high school.
The girls at school, I don't believe that. The girls at school, like if someone at my high school was like on TV, I'd be like, oh my God, I have to like,
No.
right?
No. It just wasn't how it went down.
That's shocking.
Yeah.
I know the comments are flooding right now. Same.
People being like, yeah,
I know you would if a famous girl came at.
I'd have a goddamn T-shirt on that says,
I'm available.
I'm on Nickelodeon and I'm free.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, like, listen, don't get me wrong. My life has been fine. But in high school, I hadn't figured out my swag yet, I guess.
feel it.
I was kind of everyone's friend. I was just like really, guys, fucking Ned was me. Like, I was Ned. Like, I wasn't like swaggy actor boy. I was like nice Devon Ned guy who's just like friends with everybody. So I didn't figure out my swag yet, but I found it later. Don't worry.
So you mentioned something that was interesting. You said the show, it only aired for a few years. It was like 55 episodes or so, but it was still on TV.
Yeah.
Were those residual checks coming in heavy? Like, what were those residuals
Now
looking like?
Listen, I've talked about this on Ned's Pod a lot. And part of the reason we're probably doing Ned's Pod is we never got paid residuals ever.
Shut up.
Yeah. Like the deal at the time, this was before SAG and AFTRA merged. There's two actors unions, SAG and AFTRA. This is before they merged. We were an after show. And Josh Peck's talked about it. Leads on Nickelodeon got paid a buyout, basically. Never a residual, not once in my life for Ned's Declassified. It showed all over the world 2 times a day for 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
And not one residual, man. What? So, yes, whatever success you think came from Ned's, it's far less than what you think.
So can I ask, how much did you get paid? Like, at the last season of the show, how much were you getting paid per episode?
I'm not gonna
You already ain't getting residuals, just
tracks, but
was it like, all right, so we hear like 20,000 floating around. Was it less than 20,000?
Under
per
that.
episode?
With no chance to renegotiate. So, like, when people who are ignorant talk about, like, the strike that's going on right now, I'm just like, you have no fucking idea. Like, our union at the time made that deal with the studio, and there was no recourse. There was no way to renegotiate it. And we knew it's fucked, but what am I going to do? Not be on this TV show?
Right.
So we had no power to negotiate because it's like, yeah, of course I'm not going to walk away.
Right.
But the union at the time made that fucking deal with the studio. And so when ignorant people talk about the strike now, it's like, no, guys, this shit is so important. If the union does not negotiate aggressively with the studios for our rights, like, and I've seen people comment like about the strike, like, oh, you got paid like anyways, like to live your fucking dream life, like whatever. I don't get paid for beyond the work that I do, right? Talking about residuals. They're like, I don't get paid beyond that work that I do. I'm like, yeah, but it's not the fucking same thing. My show was sold. My face, my performance,
likeness,
made the studio money for 10 years, and I got none. Like, you have to understand, residuals are there for a reason. I am being sold, but not making any money from it. Like, it's fucked. Yeah.
Talk about that, though, as an actor. So we're sitting here now. Obviously, Hollywood's still on strike. The writer's strike is over. SAG AFTRA members are still striking. How do you feel about what do you think happens now with the SAG strike now that the writer's strike is over? Do you think the writer's strike ending, does it kind of lessen the blow for the SAG striking members?
No. Now it's moving, right? Like it makes sense to me that they made a deal with the writers first, because now the writers can start figuring out getting the writers writing. They're going to need writers before they need actors. So it makes sense that they worked out that deal first. And now it's, next up is SAG. So I don't know, man. I think this strike was really long and really contentious. We've never seen a strike be this contentious, and also SAG hasn't struck in a very long time. But even with the writers, like even the last writer strike that was really bad, it wasn't this contentious, really.
It does seem a little tense.
Yeah, it's a tense time. Yeah. So I'm just excited for it to get sorted out. And also, like, this is a movement happening across the country right now, is labor movements, is collectivized labor saying, like, cut us in on the success.
Right.
Because there's success happening all over.
People are getting paid.
Yeah,
I say that all the time.
Right.
Yeah, the car workers union is on strike right now, and they have the numbers. The car profits are massive right now.
Yeah.
And instead of it benefiting the people who build that industry, it's benefiting people at the top, man.
Execs.
Yeah, and so that's the actors movement right now. That's the writers movement, and also protections against AI, because that shit's kind of scary.
Wait, what do you think is like a good? Because I don't even know. I've been trying to like get a sense from my actor friends. Like, what is the protection against AI? Like, what does a good level of protection against AI look like?
I mean, I think they're just trying to get in writing that, like, actors and background actors own their likeness. You don't get to. One of the original proposals was for a background artist to come in, or background actor, right? To come in for one day, and the studio would pay them $200 and own their likeness in perpetuity, and be able to like throw them into shows in the background in perpetuity on any of their projects. Like, that's a crazy
$200?
offer. Yeah.
That's too much crossover with like aliens and stuff, I feel like.
It could literally be anything.
They
though.
they could turn you into like that's just a crazy offer. So we just need protections around just making sure like people own their own self, you know. Yeah.
But even if you look at like Photoshop a year ago, because I'm an editor here, like I can type in insert photo of man kissing his mom. Like it could be that specific.
I don't know why that was.
Or it could be like
that's a weird thing you just thought
but
of.
something really weird.
That's strange. So
something really weird. Something like strange like that. You can literally type in where you're thinking in your head. There's not going to be a guy kissing his mom in the generated thing. I had to think of something that was like really bizarre.
Right.
Like that would be something that you could literally type in and it can go or erase all background image and they know exactly what it is.
And in that regard for editing, like it's fucking cool. Like there's so many parts of AI that the tools are incredible for. And it's a really fascinating tool for creativity. But at the same time, we just know how industry operates and industry will abuse it.
To the extent,
like, and screw
how can
actual
we spend
people.
less money?
That's the thing,
exactly. And that's the fear. Like AI is an amazing creative tool and a frightening one for how powerful it is.
Right.
I want to get back to your acting though. So obviously, you know, we love you from Ned's Declassified, but there are so many things that we remember you like in or from just from around that time period. Do you think that, and I always wonder with this with like Nickelodeon and Disney stars, do you think that being such a huge Nickelodeon star negatively impacted your acting career kind of during that time? Do you think you were like always seen as like Ned?
It's like negatively impacted, no, because it is my career. Like the reason I'm sitting here is because of that, right? Like so like no, because it also was my career. It was what opened up a ton of opportunities and opened doors and has continued to, right? Like our podcast is so fun and is crushing, and it's because of a show we did 15 years ago, right? Like life's crazy like that. But it has just been a part of my journey, man, of like trying to transcend Ned's and still not really having done so. You know, some Nickelodeon and Disney actors are able to transcend that moment in their career while still, it's like still when you look at Miley Cyrus though, you're still like Hannah Montana, even though she's fully transcended it and is fucking an amazing musician, right? Like she's such a badass, but still, if you watched her in childhood, like that shit is imprinted on your brain. But some are able to like really transcend that into a new artistic identity or career, and some are still working at it, like me. It's just been a thing, man. I've come in and out of how much I embrace my Ned's identity, and Ned's has brought so many blessings into my life, continues to. So like, listen, I love that I was part of that show. It started to hurt in my like later into my 20s when I hadn't booked in a while. I had like no fucking money. My career felt really far off, and yet still there's like all these people who are like, dude, I love you from Ned's. That's when it like hurt. Now that we have the podcast and like I'm making new music that I love and like the podcasts are going well and I'm working on other things, now that I have all that going on, now I love it again. And now it's like, cool, man. You know me from Ned's? Cool. I do a lot of other shit, but also like Ned's is a huge part of my life. So dope. So now I'm in a good place with it. But there was definitely times where it was like, fuck, man, am I ever not gonna be Ned? And I don't know. I might be Ned forever.
Might be. Let's talk about this podcast, though. How did this come about?
I have two. I have Ned's Declassified Podcast Survival Guide, and I have Growing Up with Devon, which is like my personal podcast. It came about because, like I said, I was going through this like identity thing with my life with Ned's, and then going through the shit in my 20s of like, how do I get the life that I want? Because I wasn't living it. I was like out of money, working day jobs, wasn't getting a ton of auditions. Like shit just felt like a struggle.
When you say working day jobs, what type of jobs were you doing?
I was working in retail at the time, and I worked front desk at Equinox for a while.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, great gym membership.
Yeah,
I always
love
tell
Equinox.
people, I'm like, I will work anywhere. Like I will be, hello, welcome to Walmart before I not have a job. Like I'm gonna have a job.
Oh, honestly, it was even though I'll never go back, it was such a good thing for me because I was a child actor. I never had a day job, and there was kind of a fear around it. And then one day I looked at my bank account and I was out of money, and it was like, oh shit. And I went and got 2 jobs. And honestly, it was good for me just to like do that. And I did it for like 3 years. Like for me, it was obvious. It's like, oh, I'm out of money. I'm going to get jobs right now. Like, and it was good. I can work anywhere. Like it honestly was good. It's just not what I'm meant to do. It's not what I'm here to do.
Makes sense.
So I'm going through that time, and as I was looking at my life to maybe like solve my problems, I was like, fuck it, man. I've tried to transcend Neds, and maybe the answer is that I need to embrace it more. We need a Neds Declassified adulthood survival guide. That was the solution to all my problems, was like, there's this audience out there. We've grown up. Adulthood is hard. Let's make a fun show that actually speaks to your 20s. Ned, Mose, and Cookie out of college, in the real world, those struggles, like it would be amazing. And I started like to actually really get inspired by it. And it was going to solve all my personal problems in life too. Career would come back, money would come back, right? All the shit.
Popularity.
So for 2 years, I worked with Scott Fellows, who created Neds, to develop this pitch for the reboot. And after 2 years, we pitched it to the studio who owns it, because we don't. They own the IP. And we made a really good pitch, and they, for whatever reason, passed on it, you know?
Wait, what? They passed the first time?
Oh, they passed, man. They still passed. It's still not happening. They passed, and they made iCarly and Zoe 102. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Our show, it's fine.
It's only a huge podcast now.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And could have spoke to an entire generation about a time they're struggling through. It's fine. But look, they passed for whatever reason. Honestly, like it could have been a million things. But it fucked me up. I was like, damn, I really thought this was like the answer. And it made sense. Like, I thought this was it. And so like for that next year, again, I was in this place with my identity with Neds of like asking the universe, like, do I really, I was asking like, do I need to like actually start, I've never done this. Do I need to actually start like closing off my embracing of Neds? Like, do I need to start actively distancing myself from this thing? And as I'm kind of having this fucking internal debate, my friend Brendan, who's Christy Carlson Romano's husband, he hit me up and was like, hey, what do you think of a rewatch pod for Neds? And I was like, let's do it again, baby.
Literally such a good idea, man.
I was like, I guess the answer is embrace it again. Yeah, and I hit up Daniel and Lindsay, and they were immediately down. And yeah, man, we launched it, at the beginning of this year, like February, and it has been
it's great.
The strangest, most amazing blessing in my life.
It is a strange, not even a phenomenon, because obviously people love Neds Declassified, so it makes perfect sense. Were you, Daniel, and Lindsay cool the whole time after the show ended?
So we've never not been cool, but there was a lot of distance. Like Daniel and I were homies for a while, and then would like come in and out of each other's lives, but he lived in Long Beach and I lived in LA. So like, it was kind of just that. Like we'd go through phases of like creating and hanging and vibing together. And then I wouldn't see him for a few years and then we'd come back together. So we were always cool. Lindsay, she's talked about a lot on the pod. Like Lindsay went through many years of drug addiction and I would always check in with her every couple years, but we were not like hanging out. What's cool for the podcast is like, we have such love for each other, but we kind of have gone on different journeys to get to our adulthood now, to get to our 30s. And we've gone on like all this life experience separate from each other. So we have this kid friendship, but now all this life to catch up on. And I think that's like the real magic of the pod.
And that's like what makes the podcast so magical, is because like you can tell when you listen to it that y'all all have like 3 totally different life experiences. Yeah. And you're giving us like survival tips on like how to survive this, how to survive that. Like it comes together in this weird, beautiful culmination of life.
Yeah, man, it's been beautiful. It's been healing in ways I didn't realize I needed. And I think Daniel and Lindsay would agree, just being around them and creating again. Like Neds is a huge part of all of our lives. And for so long, it felt really distant. And now with them, like this magic that happened early in our lives feels like back. And it's so nice, man. I love those people. Yeah, if your listeners haven't listened to or watched Ned's Declassified cast survival guide, please do. It's chaos.
Yeah, when you first listen to it too, you like don't know what to expect because
Yeah.
you're just thinking in your head of you guys when you were little.
Yeah.
And then you get right into it, and it's almost like not that you catch up to where they were, but you almost catch us up immediately with who you are now. Like you don't even get like a second to pause.
Nope.
Like it's actually really, it flows really nice.
Yeah, we're so open and raw and safe with each other that like I leave our recording days and I'm like, holy shit. Like we just said everything and anything.
Right.
Like, holy shit, that's going out to the world. But honestly, fuck it.
Has there been a moment or a bit or something y'all said on the podcast where you go, we probably shouldn't air that?
Not yet. I mean, there's things we probably shouldn't have aired, but I never say like cut that out, because we're just like being real. So so far so good, but yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah. Do you guys cut things out of the pod sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
by guest request or by like you guys said some dumb shit?
If the guest says something that's like really fucked up, we'll cut it because we don't want people to like get canceled.
Yeah.
In trouble.
Right.
It's facts. It is a sensitive landscape on the internet.
And we always tell people, we're like, I mean, if you say something and it's like, if the thing you said is stupid, we're keeping that shit in. You shouldn't have said it. But like, if it's really going to damage like your career,
right. If people are gonna be up in arms.
Yeah, we ain't trying to get nobody canceled.
Yeah,
Right.
cool.
So don't say no sketchy shit.
Okay, cool.
We're not cutting it. No.
Speaking of sketchy shit, when you think of like Disney, Nickelodeon, I mean all of them, when like you're at such profound time in your life where like drama's happening, I want to know the tea about what's going on set. Did you guys ever have any like arguments? Was there a little bit of dating going on? Who's hooking up with who?
Listen, we were young, so we were going through
Those
you know, I was 13
stages.
to 15, Lindsay was 14 to 17 on the show, something like that. So yeah, there was hormones flying around. There was little crushes here and there from our whole set, but obviously in the last couple of years, we've heard a lot of people sharing about their like truly kind of really negative experience being child actors in the industry. Our show was not like that. Like we had an incredible showrunner, great parents of the kids on set, which is really key. Yeah. Nickelodeon treated us really well. Like we had actually a really great set environment. So sure, there was like just that little like, you know, middle school, just crushes and little dramas going around. And Lindsay and I, she was my first love. Like as Ned and Mose were coming together in the story, Lindsay and I were coming together as people and like loved each other and dated for a year.
Wow.
And then, you know, had our like first heartbreak with each other and went in two different directions after. So like, you know, there was that stuff, but no, like nothing bad. Like we just had a good time and kind of as normal as it could be for like a school experience.
Right.
Also, there were so many kids on our show, like between all the casts. So like it felt a bit like a school environment, you know, like we're playing at lunch. So like we're like playing tag around set at lunch. Yeah, there's little crushes, there's little liking, but really we were just like all friends and having a great time.
That's so good because there is so much happening with like childhood actors and like what they experienced.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you had a good experience.
Yeah, me too. Like me too. It's been as shocking for me to hear all the stuff coming out, you know, with Jeanette McCurdy and Alexa and Allison Stoner, even like hearing some of what's gone on with them, knowing at the time, like we were living parallel lives.
Like you guys were all in the same kind of space.
Yeah, we're in the same young Hollywood space. We'd see each other at events and everything was always all smiles and all fun. Turns out ours was like real all smiles and all fun. Yeah. And then these kids were like smiling on the red carpet and holding back like some true fucking dysfunction and like adult issues they were having to hold as children. Like it's been shocking and heartbreaking to hear, and it was heartbreaking to read Jeanette's book and just be like, damn, that's what you were dealing with?
Right.
But her mom was some type of way, and my mom is an angel. So
that's good.
You know, that's the difference.
Did you have that like young Hollywood party phase?
Hell yeah.
Because it stayed out of the media.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we were pre-social media, man. Like literally Twitter had just come out when Ned's ended, and that was Twitter. That's pre-Instagram.
TMZ only started probably like a year before Ned's ended, so you're right.
Like, yeah, dude, like we were pre that era. So it wasn't anywhere, but for sure there was a young Hollywood. It's a community. Like LA is actually really small.
It's so small.
And the
So
industry
small.
is really small.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the child, who are the child actors is small, right?
Mhm.
So we all knew each other as teenagers. And for sure, there was young Hollywood parties. I threw a lot of them.
Yo, I think you ain't never get arrested, did you?
I did get a DUI, and you guys never found out about it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you guys suck at your jobs. Woo! Yeah, I got a DUI when I was 18 or 19.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Not nice.
Nice.
I know. I got an underage in college, so I just.
Did you?
We do not promote drinking and driving.
We do
Definitely not, dude. It was good learning. I mean, LA's tough because it's a driving city.
Yep. So you have to.
And
Nobody talks about that enough. The fact that this city is built off of cars and then they don't give us any other than Lyft.
And
but
then even the public transportation system.
Oh no,
is
public
trash.
transit is
it's
trash here.
Literally.
No, it's really difficult, right? And my dumb young ass was like, well, I have to drive and I want to drink. So I was like, cool, guess I'm just gonna drink and drive. And did it plenty and then got arrested and was like, oh, I probably should stop that. It was actually really good for me that it happened, and it happened pretty gently in terms of I didn't get into an accident.
Yeah, there was no one got hurt.
Didn't
You
kill
guys
anyone.
never fucking found out.
Not you guys.
Although,
yeah.
although it might have helped my career. I think about this. I was glad it didn't get. I was glad it didn't get in the media, but it might have fucking gave me a little.
It might have gave you a
It
little
might have
boost.
given me a little boost.
Little
You know what I
bad boy,
mean?
little bad boy energy.
Oh, Ned isn't so nice.
Oh, spicy Ned.
Ned's an idiot. I don't know.
No, when you
man.
think about it,
No.
though, I think you might be onto something. 'Cause
You know what I
No,
mean?
I disagree.
Think about-
I
well, think
disagree.
about,
I think the way that you did it was good because up till this point, I thought you were like, oh, he's like one of those that
Like
really
squeaky
was.
clean?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I kept it all nice and private.
Mhm.
I got my DUI in private, and then I went to music festivals in Burning Man,
And then
and
got
you know,
lit.
lived my life
We love a
lit,
music festival.
separate.
I feel that.
But yeah,
You-
that was some shit, man. The DUI was definitely some
Yeah.
shit.
So you actually did a lot. I mean, I know you mentioned this earlier, but you were in a lot of small roles after Ned's Declassified.
For sure, I've acted my entire
Yeah, I'm
life.
like, I see
all the
you on
fucking
shit.
comments. Why don't you act anymore? I'm like,
And
I've
you're
been
like,
acting my whole
I have
life.
been.
No,
man.
I'm in X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
but you're in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like, what was your favorite post-Ned project that you got to work on?
Favorite post-Ned. Well, there was this one in Mexico that I did in 2012 called Sundown. And it didn't do anything. No one saw it. But the experience making that movie, it was like a spring break, high school,
Yeah.
Oh, I love
raunchy
those.
comedy. Yes, love the
Oh, I love
genre.
that.
Got to film in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for 3 months. I booked it with Sean Marquette is a friend of mine from other projects, and then we booked that movie together. So it was truly a friend of
Wow,
mlike
yeah.
We're in Mexico for 3 months making this fun spring break
Just living
comedy.
it up.
My character played a DJ. We had Steve Aoki in it,
Oh.
Chris
Oh,
Lake.
my.
It was Paul Oakenfold. We had this crazy life
Right.
experience on that movie. And so that's one of my favorite projects I've ever done, even though no one saw the film.
So if Nickelodeon called you up today and they were like, yo, Devon, we want to do the Ned's Declassified reboot, are you in?
Well, here's the thing. It probably wouldn't be Nickelodeon because we got to do an adulthood reboot. So
like
I need
Paramount.
Paramount.
Yeah,
we got to be
Paramount,
able to
of course.
talk about real shit. So,
Mhm.
but if they called, what am I gonna say? No, yes, probably, but I would need to be paid.
Okay. But paid in the sense of they're obviously going to pay you something, but are there other things that you would need, like creative input? Would you like to
Oh
be an
yeah, I need to
executive
be
on
a
the show?
producer.
Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah, I
is-
need to be a
what
producer.
does it look like?
Like,
What does
Yeah, I'd need to be a producer on it, and I just need a certain number
All right.
of pay that shows that I'm respected.
So map it out right now. What does the net? I know you gave us a little bit of it
Yeah,
earlier,
yeah.
but who's in the cast? What's the synopsis? What
Yeah,
does the
so
Ned's
it
reboot
starts
look
listen, we would have for sure cameos from the other cast. However, we try and make it real. So you don't live your 20s with everyone you went to middle school
No
with,
way.
right?
Mm-mm.
So we would pick our times to bring back the other cast members. But how it would go is Ned and Cookie it'd probably be a year or two out of college.
Mhm.
Ned, it would start with Ned actually struggling so hard with his adult life. He's given up tips, he's given up hope, he's depressed as shit. And Cookie is like at a startup tech company. He's making good money, but he's not fulfilled. But he sees Ned down in the 20s dumps and calls in backup Mose. And Mose and Cookie have to come get Ned out of his slump and get him on track to actually survive adulthood and create tips for other people to do it, right? And that would be kind of the premise. And then it would be the three of them either living in like LA or New York and like going through the 20s, right? Like roommates, taxes, online dating, right? Like drinking, like all these things that we need tips on.
Online dating is like
that's
really on
thing.
the nail.
Yeah.
The shit
You know what I mean? It'd be
this.
fire.
Yeah. What?
It'd be fire. Like it'd be so fun, man.
Paramount. Hell are y'all doing? We need this show.
We pitched it, so they have our pitch. So whenever anyone wants to make it, let us know. But honestly, the podcast is like the better. It's like the best. Like it's the weird thing that I didn't plan on, but it's the unofficial reboot.
Yeah, no, I like, dude, it's the greatest.
And it's almost better because it's independent. It's us making it, and it's us really talking about adulthood because it's not in a narrative. It's us being real about adulthood. So I don't know, man.
Speaking of being real, I think right now I'm going to ask you a few questions and you're going to give the adult version, just a little one sentencer for a little bit of context for the watchers.
Okay.
Survival guide, and I'm going to give you topics and you give your survival guide of these
my
adult.
tip?
Yep.
Okay.
What's Ned's survival guide for love?
Yeah, the real survival guide for love, and it takes a lot longer than you think, is you really have to know how to love yourself before you can love anybody else. And you really have to know how to take care of yourself before you can actually show up as a good partner in a relationship. So yeah, really develop your relationship with yourself before you even start to try and like merge with another person.
So whose heart did you break? And if you did, you can apologize to them right there in that camera. I'm joking.
I'm here to apologize to absolutely fucking no one.
Oh my God.
What's that Conor McGregor? Right?
Yep.
Right?
All right, go.
Absolutely fucking nobody.
Okay, next.
Yeah, I apologize to no one.
Okay, next.
I have made mistakes.
He goes, if I broke your heart, you deserved it.
No, but I've made mistakes.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
okay. All right, what do you got?
What's Ned's survival guide for work?
For work.
Yep. In any capacity.
Oof. For work.
Whether child actress, like Aspiring's watching, whether it's a podcaster.
Yeah. The survival guide for work. You're not always going to end up in a job that is like the most fulfilling thing in the world. Like sometimes you really just do have to find a job that's good enough, that pays for the life that you want to live, that affords you enough freedom or at least like enough time at a phase in your life to like survive and hopefully like even thrive a little bit without it being like the ultimate most fulfilling thing. But you do need to try and strike that balance between like it doesn't have to be the most fulfilling thing in your life, but it can't be something that makes you feel like your soul is dying every time you're going into work. And if it feels like that for a prolonged period of time, life really is too short. Like,
For sure.
Go find something else, man. There are other ways to make money that don't make you feel like you're like trading in your soul, you know?
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not that, it's good. And then, of course, the dream is to work in something that totally fucking fulfills you.
Something.
Yeah.
But like that's a harder thing to find. If you can even hit that middle space, like that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, don't stay at a job forever.
I say that all the time. I'm like, I got a window every job I go into, and y'all ain't getting my whole life. Like,
You hear that?
Don't.
Hear that, TMZ?
I go, I'm not saying anything.
No,
Yeah, you don't say that at your job.
Look, a job should want you to have dreams and aspirations.
No, it's
And if
true.
don't,
And they shouldn't
get
want you
another job.
there
Yeah.
forever.
What
you
job
know?
wants you to just be there, slaving away until you're old and
So
crusty?
true.
Like,
Yeah, like try different things in your life, especially if you don't feel that clear calling of like, this is what I want to do forever. Don't stay somewhere just because you're comfortable. Like, leave every couple years. Go change it up. Like, life gets real scary, but also real fun when you like shift everything up.
for
And
sure.
For sure. Switching it up.
Yeah. All right. What else you got?
Oh, that was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Just love and work. Survival guide to love and work.
All right, well, that's
just did
survival
that.
guide to love and work.
That's all I
featuring
want.
Devon
That's all I care
Werkheiser.
about.
I love it.
Devon Werkheiser, man, this was a lot of fun.
It
This was fun, guys.
This was a lot of fun.
This was fun. You asked me about very little drama, which I expected from TMZ. So that was nice.
We're changing our life around.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I am pleasantly surprised.
It's because you had good energy. If you would have came in here with bad energy, I would have been like, I got a laundry list of motherfucking questions.
Yeah, if you watch the episodes, we really take it like piece by piece with different people.
Some of them get a little,
They get a little spicy.
We're nice, but.
Yeah, you guys are, but some people bring shit energy.
Yeah,
no, you're right.
But also, some people be doing shit. So if you're doing shit.
I called you right out about the COVID thing.
That's true.
No, it's literally our job to ask you about the shit you be doing. So if you do some shit.
It's true.
You haven't done any shit in a while.
I keep things pretty cool.
Pretty low key.
We also didn't get to talk about. I've been dropping some new music.
Wait, I was going to say, can we talk about the music? Because you said you're back to music and you didn't elaborate.
Yeah. All right. So my new project. So listen, I made singer-songwriter music, all guitar-based, since post-Neds. Like I did that for like 15 years.
Right.
And 2 years ago, I stopped making music entirely. I took a huge break from it, and I said, what fucking music do I really want to make? And what inspires me is like James Blake, is Bon Iver, is Subtract, is Sampha, like Jordan Rakei. It's like this other sound that I had never made. And so I set out to make music that sounds more like the music I fuck with.
That you listen to.
And that's what I've done over the last year. And I just started releasing in August this new project. It's called Good Valley. It's my new music, Good Valley, but it's spelled weird. I made it impossible for people to search. It's good/VLLY. You guys can.
We'll put it on the screen. We'll add the link. We'll do all that.
Add the link. Okay. But I've dropped 3 songs. I'm gonna drop an EP soon, and for the next few years, I'm gonna be making this music. It's like indie, electronic, dream pop, just fucking magic, dude. I love the music I'm making right now. Shit's fire.
What's your favorite song you released recently?
Lay Around is my favorite song I've released, and maybe my favorite song I've ever made. But Everything is a song that's getting a lot of love on Spotify. So check out those songs, Lay Around and Everything by Good Valley, which is me.
Wherever you are, I'm gonna pull up. No leaving it for the telephone. Whatever is on, I'm taking it off.
I like that.
I love it.
I love it.
It's vibes, right?
It's vibes.
It's available on Spotify?
Available on Spotify, Apple Music, all the things. And there's more to come.
All right. When will the are you gonna do an EP?
A music video?
Yeah, I'll maybe shoot some music videos over the fall. I've been too busy. And I'm gonna drop an EP in October, including these songs that are out.
I like it. I love
it.
Devon Werkheiser, man. Thanks again, bro.
Hey,
great to be here. When I get into some shit and some trouble, I want you to have me back.
We will.
Okay.
And don't be acting like you don't know what we're talking about.
Right.
All right, we out of here, y'all. We'll see y'all next time.